All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're here. We're going over all the announcements from Marvel Panel Hall H San Diego Comic-Con. Here we go. Let's go into it, shall we? We talked about Cap America, Brave New World. We talked about Thunderbolts, Asterix. We talked about the Fantastic Four, First Steps. And now we're talking about the big one, the big announcement that they went overtime for, the one that made the whole thing feel like it was worth it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Avengers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Russo brothers are coming back to direct the Avengers 5 and Revengers and the not Revengers, that's a whole other thing. The Avengers Secret Wars. And they ended with that. Good night, everybody. But no, I'm kidding. So a little bit of backstory with this, and I'm a movie nerd, okay? You're gonna sit down and you're gonna listen to it, okay? Come on. Anyway, so the Russo brothers decided to step away from the MCU and focus on their other films, like for instance, The Gray Man, Cherry with Tom Holland, and they wrote a bunch of films like Extraction and Extraction 2. You may have noticed that most of these films are on Netflix, not disheartening Netflix, but still, it is the Walmarts of all things streaming services. And 2, a lot of them aren't necessarily all that great. They got their niche, they got their thing and all that, but compared to Avengers and all that, they really haven't been quite up to par with those. And yeah, Rotten Tomatoes, who I kind of look at, I take with a huge grain of salt, but still, with all these Rotten Tomatoes scores, it's pretty consistently not high and all that, Plus, after they were dumped onto Netflix, they don't really get talked about a whole lot, which is kind of shocking, especially since these are the Russo brothers who brought us for a time, actually, the most highest grossing film of all time. It's number 2 thanks to the re-release of Avatar, but still, it was at one point the highest grossing film of all time, and now it's the second, but still, come on now. And I actually just realized that Disney owns both these films. Pray for us, society. So yeah, if it were me and I was kind of, thrust upon this type of realism here, I kind of suspected, maybe the Russo brothers kind of want to win and all that, Also, Kevin Feige, who, really needs a win because the MCU is kind of tanking a little bit. The general support of the MCU is kind of waned significantly. They would help each other out. I would assume the Russo brothers have gotten bank off this, off these 2 films, agreeing to come on, which, hey, good for them, get all the money you can. Hey, green check, gold star, thumbs up for you guys. Hey, get that money, son. But anyway, I think this is a very well tight-knit relationship that they have and all that. The Russo brothers can direct a film in the MCU, like really just direct a film in the MCU. Winter Soldier, anybody? Civil War, anybody? Again, the Avengers films, but still, great directors when they're put in the right projects. Kevin Feige, okay? Again, made one of the biggest things of all time, biggest projects of all time. All the films are interconnected and all that. So yeah, revolutionized the film industry as a whole. So yeah, great relationship and all that, highly approve. Now, on to another big, huge thing here regarding Avengers 5. Now you may be thinking, well, hey, isn't Avengers 5 called Avengers Kang Dynasty? And if you were here like 7 or 8 months ago or, 10 months ago, then yes, it would have been. But now it's not. Why? Because of a certain person. So Jonathan Majors, who played Kang and was set up to be the next big bad in all the MCU and all that, like next to Thanos, I guess, and all that. Apparently, we all found out that he was doing some bad things to his girlfriend, and because of YouTube policy, I'm not going to really divulge into that. If you really want to look into it, you can look it up. There's plenty, article, plenty, a video divulging into that, so you can talk amongst yourselves about that and search it yourself. But anyway, yeah, because of all that, not only did his representatives and his agency drop him, but the MCU themselves dropped him. Like, everybody dropped this man, probably for the best. Again, allegedly, in my opinion, whatever, still. And so, behind the scenes, Kevin Feige was scrambling, kind of restructuring everything, and lo and behold, we got a new name. It kind of divulged into not Kang Dynasty anymore, but Avengers 5. So the Avengers 5 was going to happen. But what was it going to be about? Well, we found out. Avengers Doomsday. Now, personally to me, I wouldn't necessarily mind if there would be a Kang Dynasty. Let me explain, okay? You can obviously recast. They've done it before in the MCU. They replaced Terrence Howard, the flat earther himself, with Don Cheadle. I mean, yeah, Terrence Howard wasn't coming back, and this was very early in the MCU, so you can obviously recast. But still, they've done it before. They've done it with people who have died, and they needed to, still use their characters. Like, for instance, Harrison Ford replacing William Hurt in Captain America Brave New World, there you go. And since this is the multiverse, and yes, you can see different interpretations of characters, like, for instance, Mr. Fantastic, who we saw in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, played by John Krasinski. So yes, there is precedent for this. I don't necessarily know why they would do this. Maybe this was the plan all along. I don't know. I highly doubt it, though. But yeah, they could have used Kang. They probably still will. Who knows? No one's saying nothing about Kang these days because Doomsday, boom, there we go, Doomsday. And still, I say this is a very awesome decision because Doctor Doom is one of the big, heavy bads of Marvel Comics, okay? He's kind of like the Joker, honestly. He's one of those big, heavy bads in the MCU. Honestly, this is almost like seeing, Venom as like the top heavy bad of the entire MCU. This is that big. He's that big to Spider-Man as Doctor Doom is to the Fantastic Four, okay? Which, by the way, is Doctor Doom going to be in the Fantastic Four film? Who knows? Also, all these films, it's just it's Avengers Doomsday, but is Kang going to appear in a different variant, of course? The big, heavy bad of Kang, not that wimp that we found in Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania, but the big bad Kang. Are we going to see him in Avengers Secret Wars? Who knows? I don't know, because they didn't say anything about him, and they won't. And of course, Doctor Doom is as integral to the Fantastic Four, okay, as basically anything, any superhero team. I mean, that's the reason why he was brought over in every failed attempt that they tried with the Fantastic Four in film and TV, probably, I don't know. So yeah, since they own Doctor Doom now, they're gonna bring in Doctor Doom and Doomsday. It's gonna be happening, it's gonna be dope. Will he appear in the Fantastic Four First Steps? I don't know. I think I already said that, but I don't know. They haven't said anything about it yet. Of course, they probably will. And who knows? I don't know, honestly, but who knows? Maybe they will. It could bring the Fantastic Four into, main MCU instead of the alternate universe and all that, I don't know. Who knows? But I'm blabbing on and on about this. Well, let's just dive into it. Who's playing Doctor Doom, you may ask? the entire internet, and the entire internet will tell you why it's none other than Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man himself, the one who had probably the most significant death in the MCU. Yes, he's back. He's back as Dr. Frickin' Doom. And wow, okay. And again, I've been alluding to this in multiple videos, but everyone seems to be talking about this. Everyone's geeking out about this, rightfully so, because not only did Robert Downey Jr., okay, recently win the Oscar for Oppenheimer, okay, not only has, since he's left, the MCU suffered because of it, but yeah, he was one of the greatest characters and basically built the MCU off of his one film, Iron Man, okay? There were reports, basically, since Avengers Age of Ultron, that, yeah, Robert wants more money and the MCU wasn't going to give it to him, or whatever, Marvel was going to give it to him. There was reports about that all the time, and they were like, okay, well, let's just write you out of the MCU and all that. So they did. And apparently, you know, they still left on good terms. You know, it's not show friends, it's show business, as certain people on the internet tend to say. And I really respect them for saying that. But anyway, if Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, which he, of course he is, but, you know, hypothetically, if he is coming back, they would have to pay him an exuberant amount of money, and I believe they are. They're probably just delivered him like a truckload of money, like almost probably about as big of a payday as Disney got for Avengers Endgame. Honestly, it's that big because they really want him back, especially since he is an Academy Award winner now. Okay, yeah, that big. Also, many people are, you know, rejoicing at this fact that we're gonna get Robert Downey Jr. back, but this time he's evil. And yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how he turns into Doctor Doom, but at the same time, a lot of people are kind of saying, well, what about Victor Von Doom? What the heck? Why isn't he, you know, Doctor Doom and all that? Can you, first of all, okay, can you just acknowledge the fact that we got Robert Downey Jr. back into the MCU and playing a villain, one of the most beloved villains of all time? Are you kidding me right now? This is something that would never happen in the worst timeline, okay? But we're living, in this particular instance, the best timeline, okay? Come on now. Second, if you haven't seen the films, which a lot of people didn't, and you haven't read the comics, which again, a lot of people didn't, who actually knows the alter ego to Doctor Doom? I mean, many people tend to acknowledge the fact that, you know, there is a Doctor Doom in the MCU, or, you know, Marvel comics and all that, but who actually knows the alternate, you know, alter ego to Doctor Doom? No one knows. I didn't know unless I watched the films and all that. And it's Victor Von Doom. Are you kidding me right now? That name is stupid. And who knows, maybe this does open the door for a Doctor Doom with Victor Von Doom. As stupid of a name as that is, it opens the door for him to come into the MCU as well, probably taking inspiration from Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man's, Tony Stark's Victor, or Doctor Doom. Why did I say Victor Von Doom? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I really enjoy and I am ecstatic about this, as many people on the internet are. I do have some questionable questions in my brain, way back in my brain about this. And yeah, I don't know. It could go, I assume it's going to go one way. Many people tend to think they are, and it's going to be a great thing. But it could go bad, you know? Who knows? Because honestly, this multiverse saga is really not been the best. So I don't know, who knows? It could be great. I would give this a solid 80% chance it's going to be great. But who knows? This could be honestly really, really bad. But anyway, though, guys, what do you think? Are we going to get the greatest Avengers films of all time now with these films, now that Robert Downey Jr. is back and it opens the door for him to be Iron Man again? Do you think he's going to be Iron Man again? Do you think he's going to be Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four? I don't know. Why don't you tell me your thoughts down below? Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell. More vids coming your way, and hey, take care, guys.